Good morning, ladies. I'm Atara Matthews from South Africa, and today we are continuing with the chapter Helper Suitable, but this is part two. So this is quite a long chapter, so I've broken it up into two parts. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so let's just quickly scroll. Okay. So God's word says, "For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." Matthew 19, verse 5. So when we get married, we leave our parents' home, and as a husband and wife, we cleave together. And it's not just in the physical sense of the word. We also leave our parents behind, emotionally and mentally and spiritually, and we become one with our husbands. And so I've heard many of my friends and family members and colleagues that have said that they really don't have a good relationship with their in-laws, their parents-in-law, and there's a lot of strife and struggle, and these problems with their in-laws I know, have caused a lot of problems in marriages. Now, for myself, I didn't really have a problem with my parents-in-law, but I do want to encourage you to come and read the rest of what is shared here. It will really give you a lot of encouragement and insight, and there's some lovely testimonies that you can read as well that will really help um, to really help you and encourage you and improve um, your feelings about your in-laws, and perhaps bring a lot of healing too. So let me continue. Okay, so I've highlighted. Then to Adam he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten from the fruit about which I commanded you, saying, 'You shall not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life.'" Genesis 3, verse 17. So look at the bolded "in toil." In toil, you shall eat of it all the days of your life. So I also highlighted, so why is the man's punishment now shared by both the man and the woman? So this chapter is titled Helper Suitable. So we are meant to be helpers for our husbands. We should not be taking on what God's word says is supposed to be our husband's role to play. And God's word speaks about in toil, and for me, I did take on that role, and I couldn't understand why I was, struggling, so much. And it seemed like my earthly husband just didn't care, but it's because I had taken on the role that I was not supposed to take on, which means I took on the toil as well. Okay. So I highlighted this as well. It says protector. When we women protect ourselves because we feel we can fight our own battles, why would we need a husband? And so I was that contentious woman, and I would go and fight my own battles. And so when I read this, I realized, my word, God has put my earthly husband there to protect me. So that was quite an eye opener for me. But there's more to read on the subject, so come and read it. Okay, so let's see. We're almost done. Just one or two more things. So it says, I have to be the spiritual leader of a home because my husband is not even a Christian. So for many of us, we have taken on that role because our husbands just don't seem to be interested. And so I felt that I needed to take my child. I only had one daughter at that time years ago when I was going through my marriage struggles, and I took her and I went to church. And later on, I learned that, that by going to church, I was not leaving room for my earthly husband to become our spiritual leader. I was going to church and I was learning all kinds of other things, but I wasn't learning anything that had to do with being a wife and a mother and restoring my marriage and restoring my family. And so, I felt led to leave my church and to rather stay home and start working through the Wise Woman. And so I started journaling through the courses and working through the courses. And then I saw a lot of changes happening in my life because God's word says that we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And so I had a lack of knowledge. I was going to church and it wasn't the knowledge that I needed as a wife and a mother. But, when I was able to start working through the courses that RMI had available, I could then, walk in truth and learn what God's word was speaking to me about being a wise woman. And so I think I've just got one or two more things to share. So in God's word says, but I do not allow a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man, but to remain quiet. 1 Timothy 2 verse 12. So, God's word says, that's quite simple. He does not want us to exercise authority over our earthly husbands, but we need to be submissive, and we need to be obedient to God's word because of our love for Him. And so let me just share there again. It says, wives, be subject to your own husbands as to the Lord, to their husbands in everything. Ephesians 5 verse 22 to 24. So yes, we need to be subject to our husbands in everything. So even in the spiritual sense, in all senses. Okay, I think that's about it that I wanted to share. As I always say, you can come to our website where you can actually read the whole chapter, and there is audio for you to listen to as well if you don't really enjoy reading. So here's it over here. I'll leave the link. And I also wanted to also share with you, just in ending, that we do have a blog on the Hope at Last site. So I really encourage you to come and register and come and read our blogs, come and comment, come and share your praises. Hi there, ladies. Please come and visit us at hopeatlast.com. Click on blog where we share daily praise reports, ministry information, lessons, and ministry resources. You can sign up to receive our daily newsletter. You can click on free courses for our free marriage courses, and you can click on our give button, which will take you to PayPal, where you can donate and give and sow into the fertile soil of restoring marriages.